Hi everyone, welcome back to Naomi's Bookshelf. Today we are doing all of my Readathon TBR books for March. So in March, I don't even know how many readathons I'm doing. I wrote them all down and it is massive. I have figured it all out, I hope, in a very cohesive way. I don't know if I did or not. But basically, I filled my giant bullet journal and it's like 2 pages worth. So we're gonna go into all the books I have planned, readathon by readathon. So I will hopefully, if I remember, to do timestamps down below which readathon is which. But let's get into it because it's gonna be long and I'm very sorry already. So the first thing we'll go over are the individual readathons that I am doing or read-alongs throughout the year. So the first one is the book covered book club. I think that's the name of it, from Caitlin E from the Lit Review, and that one is a textured book cover. So that will be this. It is very shiny, but you can feel the textured. I don't know if you can see, but there's definitely textured duct tape, and it's very cool looking. So that will be my book for that one. The next one I will be doing is the Read Your Bookshelf Challenge from Chantel, Reading by Yourself or something. I'm drawing a blank. There's so many channel names and everyone will be linked down below. Either way, the prompt is for that one, growth in the plot or growth word in the title. I'll be putting in Brave New World in here, as in this one, someone has to grow in their mindset about the world and what they live like. So I'm going to put that one in. Then for Buzzwordathon, I'll be definitely reading Anne of the Island. I am reading this one no matter what, so I'm going to just put an easy, definite book in that spot. Then for the Read Christie 2022 project, I don't think the people who were telling me that the moving finger were correct. So I will be trying to put in After the Funeral if the moving finger is not correct. So one of the two will be my Read Christie 2022 book. Next, let's go into March Mystery Madness. So I'm hoping to get the copy of The Mystery of Albert E. Finch, which is by Callie Hutton. That'll be the third and final book in the Victorian Book Club series. And if I can, that'll be the final book in that series. And then I would also be reading As Good as Dead, which is the final book in this trilogy as well. So that'd be 2 of the exact same scenario. And if I can't get the final book in the Victorian Book Club series from my library in time, I will be reading, no matter what, Movie Land by Lee Goldberg, and that's going to put me up to date in that series. So I will be completing a series up to the point that I can be, no matter what, with 2 books. So I'm going to count that as 2 by 2, as that's the theme. 2 books are the same point in the series for me. I'm also reading Devil's Star, or The Devil's Star by Jo Nesbo, with 2 people, which are Berna from Berna's Bookish Adventures and Nikki from Red Dot Reads. So 2 people I'm reading that book with. I also have 2 books that happen to have the word yellow in the title, and I managed to have The Yellow Wallpaper and Other Stories by Charlotte Perkins Gilman. This is a collection of short stories by Charlotte Perkins Gilman, and I am very interested in reading this, and I'm especially interested when I found a copy of The Yellow Room by Mary Roberts Rinehart. So I grabbed it in the plans of reading 2 books that are Yellow Room related for this readathon plan. So 2 by 2 or 2 times 2, Yellow Room and The Yellow Wallpaper. I don't know anything about this one. I know in this one, I think the woman is slowly going insane, or I think her husband might be gaslighting her. I don't know what's going on with The Yellow Wallpaper, but something about the woman and her husband. And in this one, I know nothing. So that's kind of why I wanted to put these 2 on my TBR. And in tandem with The Yellow Room, I also have The Breaking Point by Mary Roberts Rinehart. So 2 by the same author on this TBR. I know nothing about either of them, and that's okay. I also have Sense and Second Degree Murder, which is an arc that I have. I have it on audiobook, but it's actually read by a robot, so it's not a great audiobook for me to listen to, but it is an arc that I need to read before April, and it has the word second in the title, so I'm going to count that as for this prompt as well. It is an arc, and like I said, it comes out soon, so there's that. I also have 2 sequels that I would like to read. So the first being Death of Riley by Reese Bowen. I am reading this for a book club with Kate Howe and many other people. Well, maybe not many, but it is a great fun. And this is book 2 in the Molly Murphy series. So I need to read this one. And I think it came out in 2002. I'm not sure, but this is the second book in a series. And I also want to read the second book in the Aggie Morton series called Peril, or Aggie Morton Peril at Owl Park, I believe. So that is the second one as well. And like I said, I will be reading either After the Funeral or The Moving Finger, but I will also be reading the Seven Dials mysteries. So I will be reading 2 Agatha Christie books this month, no matter what. And so 2 of them as well. This one was also published in the 20s. So another 2, 2, 2. I'm also participating in 2 read-alongs for this March Mystery Madness, which are The Breaking Point and Murder in Old Bombay. So I'll be reading 2 read-along books. I have another arc as well, so there will be 2 arcs coming out in 2022. The name of the arc is Souls of Lost Lake, and this is by Jamie Jo Wright. So I'm very excited to read this one. It comes out, I think, in June or maybe May, I don't know, but I'm very excited to read it as soon as possible. So I'll be reading that one as well. So we're done with Mystery Madness now. That was a lot. I know, oh, goodness, so many books. Now we're gonna move into middle grade March. I have a lot of potential books and I have some very specific books I want to read for this. I will be trying to fulfill the prompts, and the first prompt is to read a book with 5 or more words in the title. And I have Maya and the Return of the Godlings. This one's by Rena Barron. I have the arc of it, which I had never read in time, but I was like, if I get a physical copy, maybe it'll be easier to read. I think the arc just had such strange spaces on the side or something. But I have picked up the physical book now, and I would like to really read it, and it has a long title as well. So perfect, and it is the sequel to a book, so no mystery though, but yes, first book for March Mystery Madness. So for the second prompt of an orphan main character, I'm gonna go with Anne of the Island. This is a middle grade series, and Anne is an orphan, and I was like, this could not be more perfect. So I'll be sliding this one in here. For a contemporary, I don't really have one right now. I would like to read Goodbye Stacy Goodbye, which is the next graphic novel in the Babysitters Club series, but I have a hold and I'm about 5 weeks away according to the app. So I don't know if I'll get it in time, and if not, I might just count Anne of the Island as well, since it's based on the time it was written. I might go with that route for a contemporary. I also have Rebecca of Sunnybrook Farm, which might count that regard. I don't know, but I will just play by ear throughout the month if I don't get the graphic novel book in time. So the next prompt is to read a book set in Asia or with an Asian main character, and this book has been on my radar for a while now. I just never got around to it when I was actually planning on reading it. So this is Soul Lanterns, and it's about Japan during or right after, I believe, the bombs went off for Hiroshima. It's a very short middle grade book, and I have it on ebook now, so I will be reading that for sure, and I am very interested in it. It sounds like it's going to be heavy, but at the same time, I think it's a really important matter to talk about and read about. The last prompt is to read a book that's older than you, and I'm definitely going to go with the one that is like 100 years older than me, maybe not 100. That's a bit much. Like 90 years older than me. I'm gonna go with The Scarecrow of Oz by L. Frank Baum. I'm going to be reading this one. It's really finishing up this actual bind up itself, or not the whole set, but anyways, book 9 in the series, and I'm very excited to continue on. I do need to finish this series this year, and I have not picked up another book this year from this series, so this is gonna make me do it, and I'm very excited to continue on. I think I have 5 books left, so I'm very happy to get a reason to pick this one up. I also have plans to read a nonfiction from the Who Was series, which I discovered with the Dr. Seuss book. I really enjoyed that nonfiction, and I'd like to read more from that nonfiction series, so maybe in middle grade nonfiction. And I'd like to read, like I said, the Aggie Morton sequel. So that is a nonfiction, not a nonfiction, a middle grade mystery series. Next is March of the Mammoths, and I have not participated before, but this month I'm actually starting a mammoth of a book. So I was like, well, it counts, so I'm gonna do it. Like I said in my TBR video before, I'm starting Gone with the Wind, and I plan on reading half of it. So even though that's not considering I don't know, maybe the whole spirit of March of the Mammoths, I'm gonna go with it. March of the Mammoths is the plan to read books over 800 pages, or at least to start them. And I plan to start and read at least half of this book. So that would be 500 pages at least. I might read more if I'm interested in it. But yeah, I'm gonna try to finish at least half of this book, which is at least 1,000 pages. I think it's like I said in my video, 1,400 pages? No. 1,040 pages. I made that mistake in the other one. Anyways, it's just over 1,000, so I'll be counting this one for March of the Mammoths. I also know there's the final book support group readathon going on for that 1 week, and I might try squeezing in some final books if I have any like this. I know I have Movie Land during that time that I could read, and I don't know if I have any other final books potential right now. We'll see if I have any at that point. The final readathon is the Orilium one, which is the magical readathon, and it's going from the 14th to the 20th, which I think are the exact same dates as the final book support group. I picked my 2 books for that readathon, which are the Globe or the Orb. And I will be reading The Scarecrow of Oz as it has a sun-like thing on it. Unfortunately, my bullet journal is on top. So this kind of looks like a sun. I'm gonna go with it because nothing else worked. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go with it. It looks like a sun, and it looks like there's actually a sun design on the chair itself. I'm gonna say that's a sun, and it's gonna be my orb for my magical conduit, whatever that is. Then the Locket of Clear Wind is going to be my legacy item, and for that one you need to read a book in 4 or less settings, and I'm going to read Movie Land for that because I definitely will fly through it. I think I'm going to start it and probably finish it within 1 sitting because I have done that with the other books I've read. So I have a feeling it's going to be a fast read, and I cannot wait to start it, but I'll wait until the 14th to do that. So it is the next day, and I realized mid prepping for editing that I missed 2 readathons as I saw announcement videos, or not announcement videos, but TBRs come out. So we're gonna rectify that right now. First up is the Gods and Goddesses readathon, or the Greek Gods and Goddesses readathon, which I had really wanted to do, and I forgot to put those books in my TBR. So let's do that one first. Like before, all of them will be down below, all the hosts, but this one in particular has 16 hosts, I think, or 14, so I will link specifically Esme from Bookish Buddies, their announcement video, or Bookish Buddies announcement video down below, so you can check it out. But I have chosen to be on Team Athena, as I've always really loved a Greek goddess Athena, and I really want to be her team as soon as I heard those teams announced. I'm also sorry for the lighting right now. I'm filming this after work, and I realized my mistake. So for my team's prompt, it is to read a book for your yearly goals in some way. And my goals this year have been to read books from my TBR jar. And one of those books happens to be Brave New World. So I'll be reading this one for that prompt. I might switch it out for Evelina, but either one, it works. In this readathon, you can double up prompts, but you can't triple up. So I will be doing this one for Brave New World. And I think I've been able to put it almost every single book for every single prompt except for once. So this one for that. The next part about this readathon is that you are to read books for your team. I am in team control as I'm part of Athena's team. So my next books to read are for my other teammates, or the Greek gods in my team. So for Apollo, it is to read a book that will make you happy. And I am 99% sure that Movie Land by Lee Goldberg will make me happy, as every other book in the series has. And it will be coming out in June, but I've already got the arc and I plan on reading it definitely in March, like I've been talking about before. The next god on my team is Demeter, and I need to read a book with nature on the cover. So I've chosen The Breaking Point, as there are some like trees in the background here, and there's a mountain. I'm going with it. That's for Demeter. And this book, or this readathon, is for the whole month, so I can read this book whenever. And we're reading these for specific dates in the read along, but I am happy that it counts. The next god is Dionysus, and his prompt is to read a guilty pleasure book. And I personally don't agree with guilty pleasure books being a thing. So I'm using my ability right now to choose to change my prompt up and make it my own prompt with my brain powers. This also could be considered a guilty pleasure book if you wanted to do that, but I don't consider them guilty pleasures. So I'm making up the prompt to read a middle grade book, and I'll be reading Warriors, whatever that is. But I will be reading this one, which is by Mary Pope Osborne. The next one, which I currently have out from the library, I'll be reading that one. Actually, let me quickly change that, and I'll be reading one of my Magic middle grade March books. I don't know which one yet. I'll pop a picture on the screen here, as I will be saving my Warriors book for the next, or for another Greek god. The next Greek god for me is Hera, and I need to read a book with a strong female protagonist, and I will actually be reading a nonfiction, and I plan on reading She-Wolves by Helen Castor already this month. My hair is stuck in my mouth. I plan on reading She-Wolves, and this is about queens who ruled before Queen Elizabeth I. I figure this is a great choice for a strong female protagonist, as these queens decided to not follow tradition and decide to take the crown for themselves. It is a bit of a thick nonfiction, but I am very happy to pick this one up and continue my streak of reading a bit old, bit interesting, not a bit interesting, very interesting, but a bit old ancient history. The next one is Hermes, and this is to read a short book. So I planned on reading The Yellow Wallpaper by Charlotte Perkins Gilman. This one is a short story about 30 pages long, but I will be reading this collection, I hope, for this time. So either way, each story in this book would count for a short story. Although if you do want to count it, many of my middle grades are very short as well, so we could always switch that out if you wanted to be picky about that too. The next one is for Hesta, which is a cozy or heartwarming book, and I'm going to put in Anne of the Island here, as this series is always heartwarming and cozy, at least in fond memories for me, so sliding it in. So the next one is for the opposite team, which is Team Chaos. And I don't get as many points for reading these books, but I still do get points. The whole point system is in Esme's video, so I will link her video, like I said. So for Aphrodite's prompt, it is to read a romance, and I'm putting Evelina in here, as it says something on the back about being a family romance. And since it says family romance and the word romance is there, I'm counting it. I also have some romance arcs, but at least I'll be reading one more romance, and this is officially on the TBR anyways. So for Aries, the prompt is to read a book about war. So I'll be reading Warriors in the Winter, which is by Mary Pope Osborne. I also have Soul Lanterns, which is about just after the war. So I don't know if that would quite qualify, but I'm glad I have, or I remembered, Warriors in the Wintertime, which is about Roman warriors. So perfect even. Artemis is to read a book that's highly anticipated, and I will be reading Souls of Lost Lake by Jamie Jo Wright. This book is like one of my most anticipated books of the entire year, and I'm very excited to have an arc of it as it comes out in April, so I will be reading it without a doubt in March, probably as soon as I can. Hades is to read a book with undead in it, and I'm going to put in Maya and the Return of the Godlings in this. This one is based on African mythology, and I believe, I'm sorry for the glare, I believe that this one has creatures in it that you can't kill. So I'm going to count that as undead. So I'm just going to go with that. I have no other books that on this TBR, and I don't want to add anything else either. Poseidon is about a water element, and I'm going to have to go with Souls of Lost Lake again from Jamie Jo Wright, as I don't have another book to put in this spot. I might find something else along the way, but currently I have a double up here. And the last one is for Zeus, which is to do a cover buy. And like I said, I don't know which Agatha Christie book I will be reading, but this one was a cover buy, as I love these editions. And this was a cover buy as well, because one, I needed a book of After the Funeral, and I also think this cover is really creepy. So both these were cover buys, so this will count no matter what for the cover buy prompt. Okay, so the last one was Birthday Bonanza, which is by Emily from Novelle Novel. She's hosting it for a week from the 7th to, or not from the 7th, from the 5th to the 13th. And I am really excited to do this 5 prompts, and I am just really happy to celebrate her birthday in a small way. So the first one is to read a gifted book, and I'm going to be reading the book Sense and Secondary Murder, which is an audiobook that I said before in this video, at least not today, obviously. Anyways, it's an arc that I was gifted by the publisher, so I'm going to count that. And then a buddy read, I am reading Devil's Star, which is by Jo Nesbo, and I'm reading with 2 friends, and I'm going to count that. And then favorite author, I have Agatha Christie and I have Jamie Jo Wright, and I'm not sure if I will read Jamie Joe Wright's book during that time, but if not, I will read one of my Agatha Christie's during that week. The next one is to read a childhood favorite, and I have two options here. I could do The Wizard of Oz, which technically that story isn't my favorite, but this world is a definite family favorite, or a favorite of mine, I should say, or Anne of Green Gables world. So if I don't read this one before that point, I will put that in there. And if not, if I've already finished this, I will pick up The Scarecrow of Oz during that week. So the last prompt is to read a book with a celebration. I don't know if I'll be able to read The Moving Finger. I don't think I'll be able to, honestly. So if I do read After the Funeral, which I feel like I might have to, a funeral is a celebration of life in some ways, so I will be counting that as a celebration. Also, though, if I don't finish this one earlier, I might just push to finish it during that week, as I'm sure there are celebrations of coronations during this book's events. So we'll count that one too. So, I mean, this is a bit thick to read during a 1-week readathon and nonfiction-wise, but I am excited to take on that challenge with the 4 other books during that time period. So that will be my last 2 potentials during that time. I believe that's officially all of the readathons now, so I will send you backwards in time to Naomi from yesterday to sign off this video. So I don't have anything else really to read for readathons. I do have plans to read The Night Circus this month, as I need to for my book club meeting. I'm going to try finishing it. I really will try. And I need to read Addie LaRue as well. I need to finish that. I have like 200 pages left in that, which I need to finish off. And then I need to read a bunch of arcs. I'd like to prioritize arcs, I should say. I know I'm like listing off a ton of books, but I read over 29 books in February. I'm filming this on the 27th and I've read 29 now, and I plan to read 2 more books before the end of the 28th. So I have a feeling I can do it. We'll see if that happens. So the arcs I need to read are Eleanor. I don't remember any of these authors' names, but I'll pull up the pictures up here. Eleanor, Stranger Game, which is by Colleen Coble. I know that one. And then Fake It Till You Bake It, which sounds like a baking romance, which is fun. So there's that. And then I also just got approved for a David retelling, which will be great. And hopefully that'll be the next book for the Biblical Fiction Buffs book club. And I hope that that will be great. So that will be fun. And of course, Movieland, which I did not put on that arc list because I hadn't been approved at the point when I was writing this all down. So lots of arcs, but I'm very excited for all of them, and lots of books, but I'm very excited for everything I have planned, except for maybe Gone with the Wind, but I would really like to give it a good shot and try. I have high hopes. So please let me know down below if you think I'm completely bonkers. But actually, in all honesty, I would love to hear what you're reading for the month of March. If you're reading in any of these readathons, what your plans are, or if you're planning on having a chill month, whatever your plans are, I'd love to chat down below. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you would like to and you're new here, and please like this video if you enjoyed it, and I will talk to you next time. Bye for now.